So with all the talk of the new 4K TV and HDR technology that's out, I've had a couple questions in my own gaming life as far as things that I may or may not do. I've run across some games that I played a while ago that got some really good patches on PS4 Pro and have already been mentioned that they're going to get amazing patches on the Xbox One X. A good example is Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt. Unfortunately, I own that digitally, so I don't have the physical with me, but they didn't get a PS4 patch, PS4 Pro patch. They are already on the list to get Xbox One X patches. Still to be determined if PS4 Pro is going to get that same patch, but the question comes, if you have yet to play that game or you've recently purchased a game that is going to be getting some 4K and HDR support, do you play it now or do you wait for those new patches to come out when they come out? It's something that I've kind of really thought a lot about, and I already have a massive backlog as it is. So if you have a massive backlog as well, what are you going to do? So I have a few games here that I've kind of brought out to kind of show comparisons of what it is. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I have this on both platforms because I have friends that play on both platforms, but the PS4 Pro already got enhancements on this one. The PS4 Pro is running at a checkerboarded 4K and has HDR support and runs at 60 frames per second already, so that's pretty nice. But if you are getting this game on the Xbox One and the X One X is coming out, are you going to move over to Xbox One if you have friends on there, or what are you going to do? So that's kind of what I'm running across. Is Xbox One X going to maybe get a native 4K, or are they going to get the same exact patch that the PS4 Pro got? And that's going to be kind of something interesting that we're going to see coming in the gaming industry. I have a couple other situations that I've run into personally, and one of the most recent ones is Prey. I know that the other editor on Seasoned Gaming, Portia Power or Ains, that you've probably seen on podcasts, is killing me for this. But Prey, for example, it didn't get much of a PS4 Pro support at all. When the game released, on the back it said PS4 Pro enabled, and when it came out, the patch wasn't even available for a while, so a lot of people were pretty upset. Some people finished the game before the patch even came out. Well, the patch came out, and all you got is a standard 1080p with some improved shadows, a few better textures here and there, but the loading times weren't even that much improved, so it's kind of a downside. However, Arcane Studios has already said that it is going to get Xbox One X support. So with that being said, I did get this on the Xbox One because I wanted to get it on the Xbox One initially. And when I heard about the support coming for the X One X, does that mean they're maybe going to get 4K support and maybe a lot better of a frame rate and shadows and everything that the PC version has? So I've actually sent this one to my backlog for now, despite having 15 to 20 hours in the game, and I'm actually looking forward to how it's going to look on the Xbox One X. Now, it hasn't been mentioned when exactly that patch is going to be ready, but it is kind of a big deal when that comes to those games. So the other games that are going to be getting native 4K and HDR support are just the standard Xbox One exclusives that you kind of run into. Now, games like this already have HDR support, and if you have a nice TV, it may even upscale it, but to get that native 4K patch that is going to be coming from the developers is going to be very interesting. Now, the Gears of War 4, I believe they said it was either going to be available on launch date or the week after launch. I can't remember exactly, but it is kind of a big difference on there. Now, for Forza Horizon 4, this one just looks amazing on HDR TVs today. So if you have that and you have an Xbox One S and you have the ability to enable the HDR, do it for this game. It looks awesome, and you can do that today. But come launch of Xbox One X, you're going to be able to play it in native 4K. So kind of some interesting things there. Now, for the PS4 Pro side of things, I've brought out a few games that have seen improvements, and these are, for the most part, exclusives. So if you are on the fence about upgrading to a Pro, these are a few perfect examples of what looks amazing in 4K or checkerboard 4K, which is not native 4K, or an increased resolution of some sort. So Horizon is considered 4K in the checkerboarding sense. It's not native 4K, but you do get a ton of stuff with this one. It has HDR support. It has some other features that are for super sampling if you don't have a 4K TV that make the game just look beautiful if you're running on a PS4 Pro. A lot of people actually consider this game as the main game to view on the PS4 Pro. So if you have that, this one looks good. Darksiders, I've talked about this one recently on our podcast because when the most recent Darksiders was announced, I went out and bought these on the PS4 because of the enhanced Pro stuff. And this one, I believe, has a slightly better frame rate. I believe it's running at 60 frames per second. It also has some of the effects in the background running a lot smoother than it does on the standard PS4 Pro and the Xbox One. So it really depends if you're going to be taking advantage of that. This is an older game though. This is from the previous generation and it just got a slightly remaster on there. It's not a over-the-top remaster like your Crash Bandicoots and stuff like that. So if this is one that I don't have to send to the backlog, I can play it today on the PS4 Pro. I really don't think that this is one that, even if it does get the Xbox One X treatment, that is going to get a massive increase. So one that I can play now. And the one that almost everybody has, this is the highest selling exclusive on the PS4 Pro, did get some good treatment, and this one gets a lot of stuff. This one ended up getting a higher resolution. I believe it's running at 1440. It's not at 4K checkerboarded or anything, but you do get a lot of nice things. You do get the ability to play some of the stuff in multiplayer. It is running at 1080p, 60 frames per second for multiplayer. And you're also getting the ability to get the HDR support. And so if you have those nicer TVs, the HDR support really blooms when you're watching a game play, or if you're watching the Ultra HD Blu-rays on your Xbox One S or on a Ultra HD 4K player, depending on what you're on. So that's kind of been the question. I'd like to hear what you guys are doing. Are you sending some of the games that you have that are cross-platform, that are going to be getting the Xbox One X treatment to your backlog until that comes out? Or are you playing everything right now and don't really care about that? Now, I know a lot of this content in this video is not going to be for people that aren't planning on getting a 4K TV or a PS4 Pro that they maybe already own or are on the fence about, or are thinking about an Xbox One X. But it has come across. We've had a lot of questions about this in my personal life as well. I've had people ask me, hey, are you waiting for that game to be coming to the Xbox One X, or are you going to be playing? Different for everybody. Me personally, if I do see a cross-platform game that is going to be coming to the Xbox One X and make it a better patch than what is on the PS4 Pro, I'm going to be doing that. However, for games that are exclusives to either console, I'll wait to play those. If they're already released for the PS4 Pro, I'll play them today. For the Xbox One X, I'll wait till they come out if I haven't already played it. For everybody else, like to hear what you guys are thinking. One thing to keep in mind about this is that it is down to the developers. So if the developers choose to not give a patch, or if they're not going to give one patch better over the other one despite the difference in raw power, we're probably going to be locked down to a few games like that. I'd like to hear from you. Thanks for watching.